Welcome to the channel where we celebrate the machines that make our hearts race and our ears ring. Today, we are diving into the world of blue smoke and high-pitched screams as we explore a truly magnificent piece of engineering. We are looking at a motorcycle that represents the pinnacle of 80s performance, now brought kicking and screaming into the modern era with a level of craftsmanship that is rarely seen in the custom scene. The bike in question is the legendary Yamaha RZ350, often referred to as the Giant Killer. This specific machine has been treated to a comprehensive restoration and modification process that leaves virtually no stone unturned, resulting in a two-stroke weapon that looks as good as it goes. For those who grew up in the 80s, the RZ350 was the bike that dreams were made of. It was the last of its kind, the final street-legal two-stroke to be sold in many major markets, and it carried the weight of Yamaha's racing pedigree on its slender frame. This particular build takes that heritage and amplifies it to 11, blending vintage soul with 21st century components. The story of the RZ350 begins with the revolutionary Yamaha Power Valve System, or YPVS, which allowed the engine to produce a much broader power band than previous two-stroke designs. This made it a formidable opponent on the street and a favorite among club racers. However, even a legend can feel a bit dated after 4 decades on the road. That is where the owner of this bike decided to step in and create something truly special. The transformation starts with the heart of the beast. The liquid-cooled 347cc parallel twin engine has been meticulously rebuilt to ensure maximum reliability and performance. While the original engine was no slouch, this version has been enhanced with modern porting work and a set of high-performance expansion chambers. These pipes are not just for show, they are tuned to perfection, allowing the engine to breathe freely and providing that iconic two-stroke crackle that sends chills down the spine of any enthusiast. The carburetors have been upgraded to larger units, ensuring that the fuel-to-air mixture is spot on for high-speed runs and crisp throttle response throughout the rev range. But the engine is only half the story. To truly bring an RZ350 into the modern age, the chassis and suspension require a total overhaul. The original telescopic forks and thin swing arm were acceptable in 1985, but by today's standards, they lack the rigidity and precision required for aggressive riding. This builder recognized this and swapped the front end for a set of modern inverted forks. These beefy units provide vastly superior damping and adjustability, allowing the rider to dial in the handling for any road surface. The triple trees were custom machined to accommodate the new forks while maintaining the correct geometry for the RZ350 frame. Moving to the rear, the stamped steel swing arm has been replaced with a more robust aluminum unit, likely sourced from a newer sport bike and modified to fit. This not only sheds weight, but also provides a much more stable platform for the rear wheel, especially when coming out of corners under power. A high-quality monoshock now handles the rear suspension duties, replacing the aging factory unit and providing a much more sophisticated ride quality. Braking is another area where this modded RZ350 shines. The original brakes were adequate for their time, but they pale in comparison to the hardware found on this build. Massive dual rotors are now clamped by high-performance calipers, providing the kind of stopping power that can bring the bike to a halt with just a single finger on the lever. Steel-braided brake lines ensure a firm, consistent feel at the lever even under the heat of a spirited canyon ride. The wheels have also been upgraded, moving away from the traditional 3-spoke designs of the 80s to a set of modern, lightweight alloys. These wheels are wrapped in sticky, modern rubber, providing levels of grip that riders 40 years ago could only dream of. The combination of improved suspension, a stiffer chassis, and high-performance tires transforms the RZ350 from a twitchy classic into a precision instrument that can carve through corners with absolute confidence. Aesthetically, this bike is a masterclass in understated aggression. It retains the classic silhouette that made the RZ350 famous, but adds countless custom touches that elevate its presence. The paint job is a nod to Yamaha's racing history, featuring the iconic yellow and black speed block design, famously associated with Kenny Roberts. The finish is flawless, with deep gloss and crisp lines that highlight the bike's compact and muscular proportions. The bodywork itself has been refurbished to a better-than-factory standard, with every panel fitting perfectly. Small details like the integrated LED lighting and a minimalist instrument cluster bring a touch of modernity without detracting from the vintage vibe. The seat has been custom upholstered to provide better support during aggressive riding, while maintaining the classic look of the 80s street bike. The cockpit of the bike is equally impressive. The clip-on handlebars are positioned for a sporty yet manageable riding position, and the controls have been updated with modern switchgear and levers. Everything feels solid and high quality, reflecting the thousands of hours and dollars poured into this project. When you sit on this bike, you are immediately aware that you're on something special. The smell of two-stroke oil and the vibration of the parallel twin engine remind you of its mechanical purity, while the modern components under your fingertips give you the confidence to push its limits. Starting the bike is a ritual in itself. A firm kick results in a sudden burst of life, followed by that distinctive smoky idle that is becoming rarer than the day. As you pull away, the engine feels tractable and civilized at low speeds, but as the tack needle climbs towards the power band, the YPVS opens up and the bike transforms. The acceleration is violent and addictive, accompanied by a soundtrack that is pure auditory bliss. This modded Yamaha RZ350 is more than just a motorcycle. It's a labor of love and a tribute to a bygone era of motorcycling. It represents a perfect harmony between old and new, proving that with enough vision and skill, even a 40-year-old machine can be made to outperform modern rivals. It's a bike that attracts attention wherever it goes, from seasoned riders who remember the original to younger enthusiasts who are captivated by its unique style and sound. In a world where motorcycles are becoming increasingly sanitized and computer-controlled, machines like this RZ350 remind us why we fell in love with two wheels in the first place. It's raw, mechanical, and incredibly exciting to ride. We want to thank the builder for keeping the two-stroke flame alive and for creating such a stunning piece of automotive art. If you ever have the chance to see or hear a bike like this in person, take a moment to appreciate the history and the craftsmanship that went into it. Until next time, keep the rubber side down and enjoy the ride.